Laziness, overindulgence, and consumerism is what's keeping a lot of men stuck in this world today. It kept me stuck for such a long time. It wasn't until I learned how to stop being a fucking dopamine junkie that I actually got some fucking success in my life. And I'll show you exactly how to stop being a fucking dopamine junkie. Back in university, I used to just smoke up all day, drink, watch TV, porn, social media, scrolling, everything, right? And I would overindulge, which I realized is the biggest problem. Some of these things, right, you can do. Like, if you smoke, but you don't overindulge, I wouldn't necessarily say that's terrible. But the problem is when you start to overindulge and become a junkie, right? You're like a fucking junkie now, right? So how did I stop doing this shit? The first thing was that I actually accepted the fact that I was addicted to these things, or I was overindulgent in these things. It was way too much in my life. If I didn't hold myself accountable for these things and I just said, well, it's okay, whatever, who cares, this person's doing that, then I would have never changed my life. First and foremost, you need to hold yourself accountable, bro. So I had an app where I was just tracking everything back then. I had to track every little thing and to see how long. Now, I don't do that now. But if you really want to do it, just look up like a sobriety app or some shit. Just put every single thing, whether it's social media, porn, junk food, whatever the fuck that you want to put there, just put it in there and then just track how long. And every time that you go back to it, just reset it. This is just one of the little steps I did to actually hold myself accountable for my own actions. Instead of blaming the world, blaming everybody else, I owned up to everything that I was doing to myself. That's the most important thing. Number two, understanding that all of this dopamine, right, it's a lot of free shit. A lot of them is just free, right, and some of them are not, but a lot of it is done as a form of escapism. What do I mean? I mean, you're really just trying to escape your trash fucking life that you're living. It's not as good as you want it to be. You see other people living amazing lives on Instagram. Obviously, they're just showing the highlights of their life, but you see all of that, and then you're looking at your own life, you're just doing the same shit, working a 9 to 5, whatever, and then you choose to numb it down through dopamine. That's really the majority of why people do all these things, right? Trying to escape, or they're trying to be fulfilled in their lives. But they don't understand that all that dopamine is really just cheap pleasure, bro. What I realized for myself, when I'm overindulging in cheap dopamine, I find that it's mostly just me like trying to escape something, or I'm just stressed about some bullshit or whatever, and so I just find that let me vape, let me smoke, let me do this, let me do that, right? So it goes back into the accountability thing, right? It's just about holding yourself accountable and understanding the fact that I am doing this because of that, right? Third thing is cut out the poison, bro. Cut out the poison from the fucking source. Whether that means you have to delete the app, whether that means you have to throw out the vaping device, if that means you don't have to stop hanging out with certain friends, cut out the poison from the source. If you don't cut out the poison, you're still ingesting the poison, right? If it's not good for you, if you can't handle it, then don't have it. So I've realized for me, I just downloaded Instagram, right? If you didn't know, follow me on Instagram. I just created it, showing more behind the scenes. And I realized, oh wow, I see how people can be addicted to this type of thing. Because you can just go on there, and if you're not creating on Instagram, you're just constantly consuming. So I try my best to stay off Instagram if I'm not creating. If I do look at something, it would be like 30 minutes to an hour max. But even that, I think, that's like the absolute max. There's just no point to be on Instagram for longer than that a day. And I'm creating shit. I'm posting shit, But for the average individual who's not posting, they're just consuming. They're not doing anything. They're just procrastinating, thinking about the fact that they want to post, but they're not doing shit. You're gonna have to delete the app. That's the first step. That's what I did years ago, right? I had to delete all social media. I still don't even have YouTube on my phone right now, bro. I don't have the YouTube app, and I create on YouTube. I don't even have the app on my phone. So why do you have to delete the app, or why does it help to delete the app? Because usually you're gonna be stuck in this routine, right, in your mind, where, okay, you're bored, right, which is part of the escapism thing, right? You're bored. You go on your phone, you know exactly what to swipe to, right? The second page, and then you know YouTube is on the bottom right corner. So you just go do it. You're just doing it right away. You don't even think about why you want to go on YouTube. You're going on the app. You're just bored. So you're like, all right, fuck it. I just want to escape this feeling that I'm having right now of boredom and, you know, loneliness or whatever. You just want to escape that shit. But I want you to fucking accept it, because the boredom and the loneliness and all that shit breeds success in your life. Don't use that shit to just consume. Use that shit to create. Go outside. Literally, if you're bored out of your mind and you don't consume shit, it's actually good for you, because you'll start to be like, fuck it, let me just create something. Let me do something. As a man, you were built to conquer. You're built to create. You're built to build something. But constantly consuming, bro, this shit is what, you know, the peasants do. Constantly consuming and not creating is what the average cuck does in our world now, right? They just constantly consume. They watch other people. They watch some guy talk to a beautiful girl. They see some other guy lift a heavy weight. They see some other guy build a business. They see some other guy traveling. And he's just there watching from a screen on his phone, when he wants the same exact things as that other guy, but he is watching. So you need to get out of this dopamine junkie trap, bro. This is the biggest thing to actually get to where you want to be, to actually become the man that you remember that you're capable of becoming. It's not gonna happen if you're just watching other guys and thinking, oh shit, you know, like I can't wait to do this, I don't want to do that. You're not doing shit in your life. Stop procrastinating, bro. You need to sacrifice the dopamine shit, the cheap dopamine, right? So now you cut out the poison. Now you got to introduce something that's better. So waking up early, training, building a business, meeting new people, meeting new women, traveling to different countries, cities, learning a new language, so many different things I could say, but you understand the point. All of these things are not cheap dopamine. You actually are learning and building and growing. You start to evolve as an individual. There's always time for a cheap dopamine, bro. Like, I've smoked cigarettes here and there, or a cigar or whatever, a hookah. But if I was doing that shit every day and also part of my life and I had no discipline about it, that's the problem. All right, so these are the types of things that I teach in my program, bro, the Discipline Savage Accelerator program. How to push yourself, how to stop doing the stupid bullshit in your life, and how to actually become the man that you know that you can become. It's not gonna happen just sitting around watching other guys on Instagram. Come on, we know that shit, right? And the next thing is to actually have goals and a purpose, bro. When you actually have certain goals in your life and a purpose in your life that you're trying to fulfill, you find that you actually start to live life better, right? If my goal is to lose 20 pounds of fat in 2 months, I'm not gonna be doing shit that's gonna be, adding more fat to my body. I'm gonna be like, okay, I cannot eat this, that, and the third. I can't eat that shit. I can only eat X, Y, and Z. Now, for 2 months, you do that shit. All of a sudden, what happens, right? Look at boxers, right? When they're starting their fucking training camp, they're like, okay, I can't do this shit. Not this, not that, blah, blah, blah. They go hard. But after they box, sometimes what? They party hard. They lose themselves again. But I want you to just make this a lifelong fucking journey, bro. To the point where you're just pushing yourself all the time to constantly evolve. You have new goals, you have new ambitions, you have new purpose. It's something that's actually pushing you to become the greatest version you can become, bro. All this cheap dopamine, it's meant to really keep us weak and numbed down and soft as men. Hell, I mean, it's just to keep everyone weak at this point. At this point, they don't give a fuck who you are, but especially the men, bro. Especially you, bro. Okay? Because you have the power to revolt against all this shit and everything, and the strength to do it. And you're built to protect the woman that you love, your children, your family, your parents, everybody. Right? All that shit is meant to make you more powerful, to do something of meaning in this world, bro. But none of that is gonna happen if you're just constantly doing the weak bullshit that this world offers us. You must push yourself beyond it all, man. I want you to go click the first link in the description for the Discipline Savage Accelerator program. Go ahead and follow me on IG. That should be the second link in the description. I just started it. It's behind the scenes shit, and, you know, showing everything that I do, what it means to really be a disciplined savage. Subscribe right now. Share this video with a friend that's in need. And stay disciplined, bro.